Yo, what's up, YouTubers? It's your boy Dante coming to you with a quick episode of Keeping It a Buck. Yo, as always, before I get into this content, I need you to like, share, comment, and subscribe. Honestly, let me give a disclaimer real quick. I'm not on camera tonight because I need to shape up, and that's the reason why you see the avatar. But anyway, um, I wasn't going to say anything about this Roe versus Wade being overturned. I was going to let everybody else speak on it. And I saw the most asinine craziest video with three black people talking, which two of them happen to be of the LGBTQ community, and one has been known as a thought. But who are me to judge? You know what I'm saying? It was on Fox Soul, and just to see them talk and just the I don't know, just them talking about how they were so heartbroken and how they're so hurt, and I'm just saying. I'm going to give some commentary on this video because honestly, some of the stuff they're saying, it just blew my mind. I don't understand how in the whole heaven and hell, black people especially can support something like abortion when we know that Margaret Sanger, she had this thing that she wanted to exterminate people that were not Nordic white people or people that wasn't pure white people. Is no different from Hitler. Is no different than him wanting to have a pure race. So I don't understand how in the whole heaven and hell black people can support this, knowing that we have been at 13.4, I think, percent of the U.S. population for years, over 50 years, almost close to 50 years. Over 50 plus million babies have been aborted. But I'm not gonna talk too much. I'm gonna let this video do what it do, and we'll go from there. All right, let's go.
Very
I
good.
I'm gonna be very honest with you. Today just isn't a good day for me.
What's wrong?
I mean, I woke up and the Roe v. Wade news just it really messed me up today. I've been really jacked up all day today.
Yeah, I definitely was depressed about it. I have a few friends and well, I will get more into this later on the show, but what they just did to women with no exceptions is just it's ridiculous. Yeah, there'll be some states that you'll be able to go and travel, but it leaves poor women in the doghouse, and I think that's by design. You got to go to another state. It's unbelievable that we regulated the uterus before the
Let me pause real quick. How in the whole heaven and hell can you talk about poor women when most of these women that live in the hood? Because I lived in the hood and I've been around the hood and I know plenty of people in the hood and they're walking around in Jordans. They wearing the lace fronts. They're walking around, and driving around in cars with 26-inch rims on it. They living it up. So don't talk about poor people. You know what I'm saying? I mean, why is that an argument? I mean, think about it back in the day. Most of these families, especially black families, they had large families and they made it. You know what I'm saying? I mean, my grandparents, they come from families of 12, 13, 14 kids. All of them made it and they was very poor, and they did it during the Jim Crow era. So stop playing with me. In 2022, black people are doing a whole lot more better than they were back then. I just get tired of these rich people and these people that sit up on these shows like these three people right here. I'm trying not to get mad, but like these three right here that have gained the American dream and has did what they had to do, worked hard, some on their back, some on their knees. Who are me to judge? But at the same time, they have gotten to a place where they're financially stable. Stop making excuses for people. They have no problem laying down on their back at all. They are you having sex, so they know that every last one of us know with sex or anything that we do have consequences. This is stuff that pisses me off. But I'm trying to let them talk before I get mad and upset. Yeah, let's go.
guns.
It's just weird because for me, it brought back. I've driven many of people to abortion clinic. I have loaned many of people money to get an abortion. I have hid many abortion secrets among close family members. And I just couldn't help but think about the trajectory of some of those people's lives today if some of those options weren't available. And some of those people now are currently lawyers and doctors and teachers and a whole bunch of other things. It's just been a very sad, solemn day for me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, mm, I want to start crying this early in the show, but yeah, I totally am on the same page with you when it comes to this. It's unbelievable, actually. It's unbelievable. Are y'all drinking tonight?
You know I am, honey. I got a glass full of tequila with a splash of orange juice.
Al, are you drinking?
Yeah, I got a little whiskey here. I have to drink today.
I'm not drinking on the show, but I just left the Ivy with my girls, and I had a few Moscatos there, and the TMZ bus pulled up, and it was a whole big old spectacle, and we had a lot of fun. Um, but yeah, I got look at me from earlier, so I think we're gonna be good. I think we're gonna be good. All right, well, let's get into these topics. We have a lot to cover tonight. Of course, as Funky mentioned, breaking news today: the Supreme Court has overturned Roe versus Wade, and states can now move forward with banning abortions. Now, shortly after the announcement was made earlier, Donald Trump Jr. went to Twitter to celebrate the court's decision. He tweeted, "Proud of my father for what he has accomplished today. He gave our movement 3 strong pro-life Supreme Court justices, and despite the Dems and their left-wing media doing everything they could to stop their confirmations, especially with Kavanaugh, he never wavered." Al, what are your thoughts on the story?
I I'm here in Washington, D.C. It has been a crazy situation. The cops and roads are cut off on every corner. Um, to me, this is just sad. I'm gonna defer to.
And let me say something. How is it so sad that God allowed you to be born? Your parents made the decision for you to be born. Everybody that's talking about they are pro-life or pro-choice, you're allowed to say it. What about the other people that voice has been taken because of abortion? I don't understand this. Like we always touting, our first black president, the first black family, the Obamas. Just imagine if his mom aborted him. Now, I ain't gonna say what I want to say, but I'm just saying, what if? Again, I think that everybody should have a chance to be born. The Bible tells us in Jeremiah, I believe it's 1:5, before you was placed in your mother's womb, I knew you. So the thing is, that means that you can only know something that exists. If something doesn't exist, you can't know it. So if God knows who we are before we even come into the earth realm, how is it that man can make a decision? And when I say man, I mean mankind can make a decision on things like this. I mean, it just ticks me off, and they act like they're so heartbroken. You know what I'm saying? I mean, listen, just imagine my mom knowing that I was going to be molested and end up living the homosexual lifestyle for many years. What if she would have decided to kill me? What if she would have decided to abort me because she didn't want to go through the pain of, hearing that her son is gay and having to be ostracized and all this and the third? What if? But I thank God that she allowed me to be born, because that gave God an opportunity to do something inside of me, to change me and to be a voice. These people right here got me so angry. And if I was a cursing Christian, you would hear that right now. I'm just living with this kind of talk because it doesn't make any sense. But let me let them talk before I'm really getting pissed. And I'm trying not to. I'm really trying not to. But I can't help but getting mad because, again, we have babies that are dying. Let me show you something real quick on the screen. It says the number one killer in the black community is not HIV, homicides, diabetes, accidental deaths, cancer, or heart disease, or any of the 285,522 causes of annual deaths combined. It's the 363,705 deaths of abortion annually. Annually. Now, just imagine you do that times 50. You see how many black people have been genocide because of people being selfish, because they laid down and they said, ooh baby, and now they about to have a baby. Now they want to say, oh no, I want to get rid of this baby so I could do me. How many women, let's talk to the women that have had abortions that want to have kids now and they can't. You know what I'm saying? Let's talk about that. Let's talk about how many women have died during abortions. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about the whole thing of my body, my choice. But the same women, you saying that, hey, she should be able to choose if she can have a baby or not was the same people walking around here saying a woman should get vaccinated. And most of these women lost their jobs. Nurses lost their job. Why don't you have that same fervor and that same energy when it comes to women? Like that, I thought all women lives matter. Of course it doesn't. It only matters if it's politically expedient for people to stay in power. I don't understand this, and we listen to these talking heads all the time. And most of them, if they want kids, they go out and get a surrogate to have a baby for them. They can do in vitro. They can do all this stuff. Normal people that want to have babies, again, some of them, they can't have kids because of nature, but then they want to talk about these birthing people, like these trans men that are really biological women. They can still have babies and stuff. Man, let's just keep it real. Don't talk about women's rights and then want to incorporate the LGBTQ, LMNOP, and everything else in there. Like they coming out there rights. If Clarence Thomas feel like their marriage is between a man and a woman, hey, it is what it is. That's what it always was. And again, to say that this is constitutional, it is not. I don't believe that is a right for nobody to murder anybody. Nobody has a right to murder anybody. They like to diminish it and say, "Oh, it's just a clump of cells," or it's just a fetus. But at the same time, it's a life. It has its own DNA code. It has its own heartbeat. It has its own everything, own legs, own eyes, own arms, all this stuff. So it's a separate body. So you're not making a choice just for your body. Yeah, you're the incubator, you're carrying the baby. Women, and most men and most women, we appreciate that. Thank you for giving us birth. That's why Mother's Day is such a big holiday in the world, because we're appreciative of what mothers do. And if you look at it, Father's Day, we don't really go that hard on Father's Day, but Mother's Day, we go hard in the paint. I don't understand. But let me digress and let them go ahead and finish their rant.
Funky on this one. Sorry. Just to me, everything about this is wrong. Everything about this is going to affect our community a little bit more than others, I believe. Everything about this is going to overload our foster care system for people that can't keep the kids. I mean, this is just sad. It's just super sad. I'm sorry. I got to pass this one.
What a lot of people are failing to realize about Roe v. Wade is that a lot of this came about because people got sick and tired of stepping over dead bodies in alleys, or women showing up in hospitals dead because of back alley abortions.
And let me pause real quick. I believe in a lot of states they have laws where if you give birth to a baby, you can leave the baby at the fire station. You can be completely anonymous. You can leave the baby at the police station. You can do a lot of things. So there's different remedies than just murdering the child. There's more than just that remedy. And what trips me out is they talk about men being misogynistic and men being, it's about the patriarchy, and it's there's white men that's making decisions. But I believe it was 7 white men that decided Roe v. Wade. Do we not see the connection here? Like, are we just that dumbed down? And then they want to sit up here and ostracize Clarence Thomas because he just standing on his moral beliefs. He's standing on that he believes that everybody have a right to life. That's even in our Bill of Rights, that we have the right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. How can you pursue liberty or happiness if you're not alive? These people don't make no sense.
So we now live in a world with internet. My biggest fear is that people are going to be posting abortion cocktail recipes on the internet for people to drink and get sick. Whoopi Goldberg said something so profound on The View one day, and she said, if a woman doesn't want to have a baby, she's not going to have that baby. So many thoughts have gone through my mind. A lot of people tend to think that abortions come about because people are just reckless and having sex. And while that is a part of it, I think back to all of my homegirls who needed to have abortions in high school, how now this situation will just leave the onus on all of these young girls because it's mommy's baby, daddy's maybe. The guy gets to walk away scotch-free while the girl is stuck with.
Listen, Punky Deneva, whatever your name is, this has been happening since almost the beginning of time. Women have had to raise kids pretty much by themselves. And let's talk about the Democratic Party and FDR, who came up with the New Deal. They got most of the black men out of the family. At one point in time in the 70s, there was, I believe, 75% of the families were a nuclear family, a mother and a father in the home raising their kids. A mother and a father struggled together. Look at Good Times. That show, I always liked that show, even though they never got out the hood, but they struggled together. So don't tell me this kind of stuff that, people in high school getting pregnant. They've been doing that since the beginning of time. Let me say this. I got family members, very close family members, that had children at 15 years old, some at 17. And all of them went back to school. Some got their nursing degrees. Some of them have their degrees in business, et cetera, et cetera. Yeah, it took them a little while longer to get that, but they got it. You know what I'm saying? So, and a lot of them was on target before some of the people that didn't have any kids. I mean, my sister actually graduated from nursing school before I did, and I still don't have any kids. But it's okay for these two men right here because they're gay to talk about women productive rights. But if anybody else say something about it, they're wrong because they don't agree. This is stuff that pisses me off. But let this go because I don't want to make this a long video because I can go on and on and on.
With this, it's just there's so many implications, and then the biggest fear, being a gay Black man, is that it's abortion today, it's gay rights tomorrow, and it's civil rights on Friday. So y'all, we got to be diligent and really pay attention to what the hell's going on.
Clarence Thomas already made it clear that he wants to go after same-sex marriages and contraception and all kinds of things. I'm going to share something with y'all. This story definitely has, it hits me in the gut. When I was 18, I was raped, and I was a beginner. And as an adult, it was actually the day after I graduated high school. I was so excited to leave and go to college, and it just kind of ruined my life, I thought. And about 5 weeks later, I found I was pregnant. And I wanted that thing out of me. It did not feel like a blessing, like some of these Republicans say, oh, enjoy it. It's a blessing from God. It's not a blessing.
Why is it a Republican thing? If you get pregnant by rape or incest, again, which is a 1% of the abortions, but needless to say, I'm not going to tell anybody what to do with their body, but I'm just saying, I know plenty of people that have been raped, that have been molested or through incest and gave birth to their child and maybe gave it up for adoption. There's other options, but the thing is, let's just boil it down. You're selfish. You don't want to interrupt your plans. If you didn't want to interrupt your plans, make that dude put on a condom, take the pill. There's ways that can, prevent unwanted pregnancies. Maybe not having sex until you're married. I know everybody can't do that, but if you can't, then there's condoms. I mean, you can go in the bathroom at most stores and put 75 sitting in the corner thing and get some condoms. So there's ways to prevent this. So stop sitting up here acting like you're the victim. I mean, come on now. Now, if a woman is about to have, it's like a topical pregnancy or something like that, where the baby and the mother both could die, in a circumstance like that, then I think that's a little different, because it's not worth two people dying in that regard. But at the same time, I still feel some type of way about that too. I don't want to see anybody die. That's not the thing. So these people sit up here, they're playing the violins, making everybody so sad. Whoa, women been having babies since the beginning of time. Women have raised kids by themselves, and they always want to run around and talk about I'm the mother and the father, but it's still a choice. So again, when it all boils down to it, you chose to lay down on your back. And if you even got raped, I pray for you. And I really understand that could be hurtful because I was molested. I understand that. I get it. But at the same time, thank God I wasn't a woman that I couldn't get pregnant, because if I was a woman and I did get pregnant by my molestation, because of my moral fabric, I probably would have given birth to the child and maybe raised the child, because I know someone very, very close to my family that was, raped by her father. And she gave birth to that child, and now she had beautiful grandkids, and she didn't punish the child because of what the parent did. The child had nothing to do with that. The sin was in how the child was created, not the child itself. But you want to make it about Republicans. Gotcha.
It's a reminder. And I remember having to sell my jewelry, and I had little stud earrings I had, and try to get the money to get an abortion. I had to walk past protesters showing me pictures of dissected babies to try to make it seem like demonic. But to me, what was demonic was me being held down by a grown-ass man who took something so special to me. And to sit here and see these men pass these legislations, these laws where it's like, we're going to tell you what's best for you. I would not have had the life I have now. And I don't know what kind of life that child would have had. I didn't look at it as a.
Mind you, Claudia, Jordan, there were 7 men that decided Roe versus Wade. Make it make sense, sis. Because right now you're not making any sense. If you was trying to convince me, you fell miserably. I'm just being real.
Baby, I looked at it as it was a reminder of that night. And I went by myself. It was a lot of things happened with that. I got sick after. It was horrible, but it saved me from what could have been the alternative. And later on, I found out this guy raped 4 of my other friends that were all keeping it quiet, all ashamed. And this has major repercussions, y'all. I'm sharing this with y'all because I think we should talk about this. I think it's been so taboo, but an abortion shouldn't just be for rape, but that is a major concern. I'm sick of people diminishing, oh, that's just 1 in 1,000 or 1 in 1,000,000 of the case. No, it's very common. Almost all of my friends have been victims of sexual abuse from family members or someone they knew. Mm-hmm. And it's none of your goddamn business if I got pregnant because I was reckless or if someone held me down and took it. So why mess with this option that can save the mother's life? Why do we care so much about, why do we care so little about the mother, the woman? I'm sorry, let me not call them mother. Why do we care so less about the woman that gets something taken away from her? Why do we just treat women like they're just property of the government, of the state? And that's what it's becoming. And it's.
Nobody treats women like they're properties of the state. That is so crazy. If you look at most of the laws favor women. Let's look at that. Let's deal with it. Most women, they have a kid by a man. The man runs off. If he's working, she can take out child support on him, and he's, it's okay. But if that same man have the kids and a woman runs off, is looked down upon because you shouldn't sue a woman. She's a woman. Or if a woman makes more money than the man and they get divorced and the man, feel like he needs to get, something out of the deal, then he's wrong for taking money from a woman. I'm so sick of people up here. At one moment, women are black, they're strong, they have black girl magic, they're powerful, da 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 da. But then at the same time, you want to play the victim. Come on, which one is it, sis? Which one is it? Which one is it? This is ludicrous to me. And I'm a black man. I mean, I was raised in the hood. I was raised in the deep South. I was born in South Carolina. At the same time, I believe that everyone has a right to life. And while I'm speaking of that, let me just go ahead and put some quotes up by Margaret Sanger so I don't have to put them in on the end. Let's look at this right here. Margaret Sanger says that covertly invest into white areas. I don't even see what that says. Let me see here. Move this out the way. Let's see here. I can't even see it, but it says here, into the ghetto abortion clinics, help to raise money for free abortions in primary non-white areas. Perhaps abortion clinic syndicates throughout North America that primarily operate in non-white areas and receive tax support and should be promoted. That's what Margaret Sanger said. Let's put the abortion clinics in non-white areas, which means we're going to put them in the urban areas where we can deal with black people and the minorities. That's what we're going to do. But they're okay with that, though. Let's go to the next quote. It says here, eugenics is the most adequate and thorough avenue to solution of racial, political, and social problems. The most adequate and thorough avenue to the solution of racial, political, and social problems. So basically what you're saying is, if you want to deal with a racial problem, especially with blacks, and you don't want them to have any effects on the political or social problems, then let's do eugenics. Third quote. She says the most successful educational approach to the Negro is through a religious appeal. We do not want the world to go out. We don't want the word to go out that we want to exterminate the Negro population. So what they did is they got black preachers to basically get in their pulpits to affirm this. So we've seen Paul Morton and all of them talk about it, so they can get money from the government. The 501c3, you notice a lot of preachers won't come out to talk about this. Where's CD Jakes? Where's Creflo? Where are all these people that preaches the word of God. Where are they at Olstein? Where are they at talking about, praise God, that this is something that's now going to be decided by the people in their state? Why? They're quiet. Bible says this: God hates the hands that shed innocent blood. He hates the hands that does that. But we're gonna let Claudia finish.
Scary times. It really, really is. And I'm so pissed off, and I'm trying not to cuss, but this is devastating.
And what's even more bothersome is, all right, you're taking abortion off the table. Then why are you now planning to come for contraception? Like, I mean, are you taking us back to Oregon Trail days? Like, what in the entire hell is going on here?
What are they getting out of this? I saw someone on Young Turks today, and this woman went off. She said, I'm not a Christian. I don't believe in Christianity, and I have the rights, just like you have the right. And I'll fight for your religious freedom, your choices. So why should my body, the rules for me through the government be based on your Christianity that I don't believe in?
I agree. And it's not an attack on anybody's religion. Believe what you want, but you
Listen, this is the misinterpretation of this whole Roe versus Wade. Is going back to the states. There's going to be many states that's going to keep abortion legal. It's going to be there. There's going to be some states that ban it. It's not saying that it's going to be naturally banned. It's not. So people that want to get an abortion, they still can get an abortion. They might have to leave their state to get it, but then sometimes people leave their states to lay up with their man or their woman, or another man laying up with another man, and another woman laying up with another woman, or whatever. They'll drive out of town for that. So if it's that important to them, they'll do what they have to do. That's one thing about people. They do what they have to do. So all this stuff that you're talking about, like, oh wow, it's gonna be so many women laying in alleys having abortions or doing, homemade abortions or whatever. That's ludicrous. That's ludicrous, because if they couldn't come up with the money, then 9 times out of 10, that's what will be happening. That's not. But do you remember Margaret Sanger said, let's fund this. Let's make sure we can get the money where they can have free abortions. Let's just talk about abortions for a minute. They don't just abort the baby, but they use their organs. They use their organs for research and stuff like that. So again, it's about a selfish gain. You know how much money they make off an aborted baby? Look it up. You do your research. You tell me. But it's okay though, because that's something I don't have to worry about. You treat it like it's a rat infestation. It's not a rat. It's not something that you do, that's a pest. Kids are not pests. Kids are blessings. Because when we get older, just like with my mom and my grandmother and everybody else and my uncles and my father and everybody else I know, it's good to have children to be able to help take care of you. Because if you put these older people into these nursing homes, we see what happened up there in New York with Cuomo. When you don't let the families get to them and really love on them and take care of them, they end up dead, just like these babies.
You cannot have one religion,
Shut
regardless of
up,
what you
dude.
feel, govern the whole world. And we got a lot of soulmates, but the Bible says, and I get all of that. But everybody's life cannot be governed by the Bible, your religion. You have the right to have your religion. You have to let people have the other right to have theirs as well.
Clearly, you feel that
We have
way.
some comments. Cynthia Alexander says, how about thinking about the outcome before you just sleep around? What's wrong with prevention? Lady, stop. Grow up.
And that's the thing. That's the
What's wrong with that is the truth. I mean, like, if you go out here and you sleep with a bunch of people and you don't know their sexual history and you end up with disease, who fault is that? Or if you end up with an unwanted pregnancy, who fault is that? Like, when are women going to start taking responsibility as well? It's your body. It's your choice. Nobody, unless they rape you, nobody tell you to pull your pants down. But let's talk about the reason why most women are having these abortions. I think I was watching Good Times one time where they was talking about, why when they have two-parent homes, that the abortion rates were very low compared to people that was raised in a single-parent home. And it's like, because if a woman or a young lady can see her dad and mother struggle and they survive, they're more apt to, if they happen to get pregnant at an early age, they're more apt to, take care of their child and figure it out just like their parents did. This is stuff that makes me mad. But this video is going longer than I wanted it to go. I think I got like 3 more minutes on it, and I promise you I'm wrapping it up because I can go on and on about this.
conception that everybody is just sleeping around. Things happen, condoms break, or we're married. We already got 4 damn kids and can't afford.
First of all, married people don't abort kids that much. If they do, it's usually because there's something else going on. But as far as married people aborting kids, that's very, 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 very unlikely to happen. let's keep it real.
For the 5th one, you know what I'm saying? Chromosomal issues, incest, rape. There are a lot of circumstances by which people need to have an abortion, and we need to stop this narrative that it's just people being promiscuous, and that's the only reason why they want to have an abortion.
In most cases, that is the case. We didn't say all, but in most, that is the reason why. Because most people that plan their kids, that know they're financially stable to have kids, they don't abort their kids. They don't. They don't. So this dude right here, man, I would love to have a conversation with him and debate him because he irks my whole spirit. I'm telling you the truth. He hurts my whole spirit. You ain't thinking about procreating because I was in that lifestyle too, so I know what you're doing in that lifestyle, you can't procreate. It ain't happening. You can't get pregnant. He can't get you pregnant. You can't get him pregnant. So why are you talking?
And even if they were, it's their business. Pixie Princess got all these religious folks deciding how we all live in this country that's supposed to be ruled by the people. Kim White says, Claudia, I'm sending you love, hope, and support and prayers. And Keisha McCrae says, a woman should have the right to choose. End of story. It's just so unbalanced. You know, there's no legislation for the male reproductive system. None, not one, not a one.
And the reason why is because most men that go out here and put babies in women and don't take care of them, you can run down to the courts and the courts are on your side and you can get all that money to wear a wig like you got on, wear your little red bottoms and do all your little Prada and your Gucci and your Fendi. You can do all that. So that's the reason why. Like I say, most men are penalized when they don't take care of their children. Women, in most cases, you get more allowances than men do. And again, I feel this way. If a man make a baby and he go out and put one in a woman, and he put many babies in women, he should have to take care of them. I don't care if he have a $3 to his name. He should have thought about it as well. So most men, when they don't want to have any more kids, they get a vasectomy. They say, you know what, I'll just go because it's cheaper to have a vasectomy. You know, and so again, when women, if you don't want any more kids, you can always do, tubal ligation. If you got 2 kids, you don't want a third, do tubal ligation. It's things that you can do to prevent having an abortion. So all this stuff they talking, man, stop playing with me. So you just want everybody to go around and get their tallywhacker cut off, and then if they do you have to use a plastic one. I mean, some of y'all probably down with that since y'all fluid, so a lot of you probably down with that, but at the same time, at some point in your life, you got all these women now. That's why they have all these surrogates and they're doing this in vitro because many people want to have kids and they don't want to tell the truth that most of them had abortions and that caused problems with them being able to reproduce. Let's just keep it real.
Ladies, you have the power. You're married to these men that make these rules. Are you allowing this in your household? You have daughters. I bet you anything. Let one of these Republicans that were down for this, let their daughter get pregnant.
So again, it's about the Republicans. Let's think about the Democrats. There was the ones that were against interracial marriage. They were the ones that was pro-slavery. There was the one that was pro-Jim Crow. So, and in 2022, there are so many interracial couples. I mean, there's people in the Republican Party that are black men married to white women, and vice versa. But you're not saying the same thing about Kamala Harris being married to a white man, right? You're not talking about the same thing with Jean-Pierre. Karine Jean-Pierre, she married to a white woman. Don Lemon is married to a white man. We're not talking about the new Supreme Justice that's married to a white man. But yet and still, it's always the Republicans. Hypocrites, that's what you are. Hypocrites.
By a black and brown person. We'll see how fast they find an abortion for that girl. It's just disgusting.
All right,
you're disgusting.
It just sucks now. Just one last thing I want to say before we put a button on it. I hate that the onus ultimately falls on women. But at this point, parents out there, you got to get your daughters on the shot, the Mirena, the IUD, the birth control while we can still get it, especially if you are in one of those 24 states where they flat out said they're tricking.
So basically, give your child a license to go out and have premarital sex. Yes, they're going to have it. They're going to do it. Some of this can't be stopped. But you're basically going to give them the license to go out here and have premarital sex. They don't understand there's STIs, and STDs that can be passed around, that condoms don't always protect. Birth control, IUDs, they don't protect those, you from getting those. So listen to people like this. Get out of your emotions. Let's follow facts. Please get out of your emotions.
States that they're banning it completely. I know a lot of parents are not advocates of sex, but your kids are going to sneak and have it anyway. I think you'd rather them not end up pregnant than end up pregnant.
I just don't.
And if they do, most black people that I know, if their child end up pregnant like they old school, they'll say, you know what, you laid down and made this baby. You're going to have this baby and you're going to take care of this baby. That will prevent them from wanting to go out here and just have premarital sex again, or go out here and just have all these babies. In most cases, if they're held to an account. Like I said, my sister that had a child at teenage in her teenage years, she didn't have another kid till she got married. You know, so what I'm saying is, because she understood how hard it was to raise a child, even though she had a family support, it was still, my mom said, no, this is your baby. In the middle of the night, you're going to get up with the baby. You're going to do this. It's not going to be me, because my kids are at an age where they can take care of themselves pretty much. So again, we got to put responsibility where it lies. Stop making this. This is why these kids now act the way they act now, because they're so entitled. You got to start giving them some consequences for their actions.
Get how a father who has teenage daughters that was part of this, pushing for this, could say, even in cases of rape or incest, that is a demonic way of thinking. No outs for any of that.
Demon talking about
the life of
demonic.
Another in jeopardy.
Okay,
topic
witch.
Pregnancies. This is a true war on women. If you don't see it, you're blind.
But you'll have a problem with trans men. A man talking about he's a woman. You have a problem with that, though. A man that say he's a woman, you have no problem with that at all. The same one that could be a competition for you and take your man, you don't see a problem with that, though. But you want to talk about this? The hypocrisy is amazing. Wow.
Next, we won't be able to vote, ladies and gentlemen. We won't. If you think it can't happen, I never thought something that's in the Constitution can get taken out. They give them rights and then taking them back. They all got collective hard-ons now that they got this through, and they got in the black justice, and not
Remember,
internal.
there was 7 of them that put Roe v.
He gunning for the next round already.
Law.
The one that needs to be impeached.
It was 7 of them.
All right, y'all.
All right, ma'am.
Quick commercial break, and we'll come back. Y'all gotta.
Man, I'm sorry this video went so long, but they irked me so bad. You could just tell that they pissed me off to the highest level of festivity. Again, like I said, man, it was 7 white men that put Roe v. Wade into law, if you want to call it that. But it was a black man and a woman that basically said, no, let's overturn this. Let's put it back to where it's supposed to be, in the states where the people make the decisions. And so that's just the way it is. So I just thank God that this is being overturned, that there'll be babies that can be born that can make a difference. Because we don't know that some of these babies that were aborted could have made a big difference. Could have been the one that came up with the solutions to the problems we have today, but they're aborted. So again, I'm sorry the video went as long as it did. I need you to like, share, comment, and subscribe. I'm probably going to go live on this. Yeah. So let me know down below if you want me to go live, and I definitely will, because I haven't been on in a while, but I had to come out of retirement again because this right here just had me living when I watched that video. I love you guys, man. Y'all step and stay blessed. Again, this is another episode of Keeping It a Buck. Remember, like, share, comment, and subscribe, and I'll holler at you soon. Peace.